You are here because you have incessantly been thinking about how am I going to do it? How is this going to work out? Who's going to be there on the other side of this decision? And I'm getting a guidance to just share that once you move, God moves. Okay? Because you have such a support team waiting for you that you're either in a place where you feel confused slightly or some doubt is still creeping up about a decision you are going to make or you have already made. And I'm getting that if there's a decision that you are going to make, the reason why you're overthinking it is because you are thinking about what are people going to say. And if you've already made that decision, the old version of you that would be in the fear state of mind is asking, like, how is this all going to work out? And I think I've said this before in one of my old posts, but I want you to look at 5 years ago, what happened, right? 5 years ago, you didn't know what was going to happen. There is no way in which where you could have written certain things. And if you someone who did and you knew exactly and you hear because you scripted it, then sharp. But if you didn't, if everything sort of like wavered out of the plans that you had. Years ago I used to say this and I still say it, but there's plans, there's life, and then there's beauty in between. You have your plans because your parents would have suggested to you, the world would have suggested to you, hey, this is something that you could possibly do with your life. This is something that could make you somebody. This can create success for you. And then life happened and life gave you an opportunity to explore that for yourself in the way in which you could redefine that thing for yourself. And then in between, you discovered who you were. You began to learn a little bit deeper about who am I without this thought? Who am I without this action? Who am I without this individual in my life? Who am I when I'm spending time alone? Who am I? So you're probably being called to just keep asking the question, who am I? And what I'm picking up now is who am I is not one thing. So don't limit yourself to, um, I'm getting this thing of, when we were younger, we were asked, like, what do you want to be when you're older? And then the typical would be a teacher, a doctor, maybe if your parent was a lawyer, you would say those things because you were inspired. Your parents were like your heroes and your heroines, right? And there's a reason why you you wanted that because naturally you wanted to help people. So perhaps you are a healer, but it's not, you might not be a healer as in like, the traditional way or the new age way, but you're a healer in your own right by being yourself, by creating art, by really allowing all of you to be revealed. You then become an inspiration, okay? Because then we can see God within you. So don't limit yourself to what you thought you were going to be when you were younger versus now, because every thing in your life. It's like making a meal. Think of your favorite meal. Think of a meal that has brings a sense of like nostalgia. And I want you to think that when you think of that meal, open up yourself to the abundance of how that meal can come to you. You can either make it yourself, you can be surprised by like a private chef, perhaps like a friend is going to call you, perhaps your partner is going to call you and think, "Hey, I thought about this meal. Do you want to come join me?" So the synchronicities that are happening right now is that you're in this place of going, how am I going to do it? And you need to be concerned about the why and open yourself up to there are infinite possibilities of how this meal can be enjoyed. And maybe this that you are going through is just fish bait. I say life is like fishing, or looking at fish, because one, you can see fish online, you can have a fish tank, you might not eat it, but you'll see it. You will go to the aquarium. There is fly fishing just for the fun. Then there is fishing because you in the woods and you've gone fishing for the weekend, you're having a braai, there's that connection. Perhaps it's mass fishing on ships for mass production. So I want you to think of your life in that manner right now, that even if you have a certain idea in mind, allow for the infinite possibilities to unfold, that this decision that you have made, all you need to concern yourself is about the why. And remember why you made the choice. Remember why you made the choice. It was for you to be able to connect deeper to God, to connect to the divine. That's what brought you there. That's what inspires you, because to be inspired is to be in spirit. So if you want to be inspired, tap into spirit, tap into your heart, tap into divine love, unconditional love just pouring into you. Let it wash over you. Okay? So everything is always, always ever going to work out. It might not be how you had planned, but the magic that you discover in between life and the plans, that's what's happening right now. And in the system, like the Matrix, wanted us to have a system of you go from primary to high school, from high school you go to university you get your first car, your house, you get your partner, you get married, you have the kids, you work up until retirement. And that system works for some people, and then that system doesn't work for some people. And what I'm getting is all these things in life are simply frameworks. So someone's experience, they're going to have a certain framework from their story. Somebody else that you're inspired by, they're going to have a different framework that works for them, right? That's why you would get like what to do at the age of 50, what to do at the age of 30. You get people sharing their stories because it's just framework. And try not to fit into somebody's framework, because that's where you limit yourself. Take what resonates from everybody's framework and create a framework for yourself. And then don't attach to it either. Once you're there, it's there for a limited period of time, and it's there just to get you there again. Do you know what I mean? Or rather, let me say, it's here to get you there, to a different place, a different phase of your unfolding. take the moment to be in appreciation for where you are, where you've been, and where you are going. Because where you are going is now. And this now feeling is freedom. So everything that you do, align yourself to unconditional love. Everything that you do, align yourself to peace. Everything that you do, align yourself to joy. Everything that you do, align yourself to truth. Everything that you do, align yourself to infinite possibilities. Everything that you do, align yourself to freedom. Everything that you do, align yourself to God. Everything that you do, align yourself to unconditional love, because it is waiting to be expressed through you. And it would be a shame if you limit the expression of the abundance that is unfolding, your unfolding of the infinite possibilities that already exist. Okay? It already exists. These nudges that you get is the divine helping you to get on a path that is more defined and more clear. Because, like I said, when you move and you listen to your intuition and you just listen to those nudges, and sometimes it might not make sense, listen in, say, higher source, power, divine, is this you? And then ask for a sign. There was one time where I was deciding, what do I need to do? Do I go here or do I go here? And I said, if I go here, I need to see, if I'm supposed to go here, I need to see owls. And then the other one was, if I go here, then I need to see a whole lot of butterflies. And there was one time I was sitting at someone's house, and it was just a little bit of like a higher, it was a higher, like it was a house on the top, then you would have to drive down onto the road. And there were a lot of trees by the wall and the gate. And we were speaking about, like, what am I going to do with my plans and everything like that. And then what came out was just like a whole lot of butterflies. And that was it was the final confirmation. So ask and you shall receive, but clear your vision towards that which you're asking for. And you must remember, as soon as you ask, it's like saying, when you ask God for patience, you're going to get a line at the bank, because the thing is, you need to understand what it means to be patient. If you just get given it without the embodiment of it, you can lose it. That's why it's important, if you are asking for something, you're going to receive it, you're going to receive the opposite of it, so that you can learn what it is and you can embody the feeling of patience. You can embody the feeling of freedom. You can embody the feeling of love and compassion. Do you get? So you're asking yourself how. Ask yourself why. And then say yes. Just say yes. Yes, yes. Yes to everything that aligns to who you are. Yes, yes, yes. And then watch how everything is going to move.